Welcome back. And now we're talking extra special. We focus on how Nigeria's fintech world was rocked. Paystack has suspended its co-founder Ezra Olubi following serious allegations of sexual misconduct. The accusations were first made public in a detailed legal letter, and lawyers are now urging the police to open a formal investigation. As one of Nigeria's most influential tech platforms, this story raises critical questions about corporate accountability, personal power, and how to handle such allegations in high-profile workplaces.
So to help us unpack, we have a very big voice here.
Kabir Akingbolu is a legal practitioner. He's going to be giving us the legal implications of this. Mr. Kabir, you're welcome. Thank you very much
for the program. Good morning,
Nigeria. Sir, it was a very interesting week. Oh boy. First of all, there was Wiki and the military, and then we had this. This kind of added that tabloid feel to every week that, you know, while something really big and substantial is happening on one side, then there's something very, you know, tabloid worthy on the other side. And it was Paystack in the news, and of course its co-founder. But then there were so many questions. These were statements that were ripped out of the internet from, well, a couple of years ago. These were statements where we have no complainant who has, you know, put any petition in court. So him being suspended on account of sexual misconduct, I understand the implications of that from an institutional point of view. However, there's no complainant, there's no report that has been made, and these were just simply expression. So where does that leave freedom of expression?
Yeah, which, you see, the problem is this: freedom of expression is a fundamental right, and all these rights, your right ends where the other people's right starts. So you cannot just say, in the exercise of your right to freedom of expression, you know, affect the right of others or encroach on the right of others. In your freedom of movement, your freedom of expression, your freedom of association, you shouldn't use it to affect others negatively. However, in this kind of situation, before this kind of thing can be taken, there are supposed to be a complainant, there are supposed to be victims.
Exactly.
Before, if you are charging somebody for financial impropriety, for instance, somebody must own that money. When the deal lost, how much is the money? Now, if it's sexual misconduct or harassment, there must be a victim complaining. So if somebody has not complained, do you have any cause of action? But in this kind of situation, it's a kind of a peculiar problem. You know why? An institution is involved. The man is more or less, you can really distinguish or separate Olubi from it's a face of Paystack. You can really distinguish. So there is no how you mention him that Paystack will not come into the picture. And Paystack owes it a duty to itself to save its corporate image, to do what they have done. However, whether they are going to go beyond that is another question. But as a matter of topmost priority now, or immediate urgent attention or action, that's why they have suspended him. But I can tell you, those things, if they are really true, it shows workplace ethics, you know, breakdown of ethics in workplaces and some other things, you know, that are coming to play. The public outcry is there. What is the social concern around the Paystack image itself? And again, some people are raising the issue of power tussle. Like, could it be a kind of power play?
Because some people these messages came out of nowhere. They have been there for over 10 years.
Do you understand? So there are tweets of about 2010 and thereabouts. So what do they really mean to achieve by this? Who was the person who posted it? How did it come about? And again, things are not what they are to us. What things are to us as laymen is not what it is in court of law. You know why? Those evidence we have to pass through. We have to pass a litmus test of admissibility. Who made the tweet? At what time of the day? What kind of gadget used? You have to prove it.
What state of mind?
Yeah, well, state of mind does not matter in law. Motive does not matter. No. You can't say, oh, because he loves his mother, he cannot kill him. It cannot be a defense in court of law. Oh, because he loves his girlfriend, he cannot post his new picture. No, it cannot be a defense. The fact remains, you have done it. The reason does not matter, except where you can prove that there is insanity. That is where motive can really occur. But without insanity or coercion, you cannot. Even necessity does not give you a defense. There is a case of somebody under necessity. They are traveling on ship, and there was famine. There was no water. There was no food. So the sailors now, it's an English case. They combined together. They conspired. Let's kill this small boy. After all, he will still die before us. They killed the boy and they ate him. And the English court said no. They were now saying after all, he will have died eventually. The court said you cannot say that. It's not a defense, that is necessity, because you are hungry and you know he was going to die. You cannot give it then. So the father, after all, it cannot be a defense to you, except you can prove I didn't do it. And don't forget, there is alibi. You can say, my phone was hacked. It's garbage in, garbage out. It's not my phone, and so on and so forth. So the space of social media space is a very technical area.
Yeah.
This topic is so sensitive. I already told Masina that I'm going to let him have this conversation.
No, it's not possible. We want to hear the word.
So, before we continue, if our director could please, can you share some of the tweets for our viewers, and please, viewer discretion is advised, please. So let's have a look at some of those tweets.
Mm-hmm. Now this, I'm straining hard here, but I'm going to try.
Let's see if we could zoom in.
Sometimes I don't even want to read these because some of them bother.
Oh, here goes. What a wonderful world it would be if Muslim women took on the same position as the men do during prayers.
Now, let's take a look at this, for instance. Let's look at the
Monday will be more fun with an A in it. Touch a...
Okay. No, that's enough. Like we said from before, viewer discretion, please. Now, these are some of the tweets that actually were, pulled out from the internet. We also, like we said from before, viewer discretion was advised there. However, if you were to take a look at this in a court of law,
yes,
these are not tweets that...
It's very interesting. That's where I'm going. Let me tell you. In all the things you have shown now, there's only one that can... It's just like playing upon words.
Exactly, and that's
it's just like playing upon words. He did not say Mr. A or Mrs. A. I saw one that say, how will it be taking a bath with your neighbor's daughter? You understand that kind of thing? It's an assumption. He didn't say there that I took a bath with my neighbor's daughter. All these things, how will it be if a woman is to be this? How will it be if somebody has this?
But where he begins to cross the line into
they are hypothetical questions.
Thoughts, however.
Yeah, pedophilic thought, that is bizarre. You understand? In itself, that one, that's what we call strict liability offense. Do you understand? It has, to corrupt the morals of the people. But again, if you go to law, strictly speaking, is there a relationship between morality and law? The law says no. The fact that, I will cite an example of a case also to drive home my point. There was a man in the case of State, and I remember the name of this case. The man was a very influential and rich man. It's even in Nigeria, but he doesn't talk to people on the streets, very arrogant. So one day he went to work and his house caught fire, and his old mother was there about to die and was crying for help. And 5 men stayed there and said, maybe your children, your son is like this. They were laughing. The woman was burnt to death. The man is a very rich man. He sued them and took I think that's the case. He took them to court. The court said the law cannot enforce the performance of a morality. That it is shameful and disgraceful for 5 men to watch an old woman burnt to death, but does the law command them to save somebody who is drowning or somebody who is burning? So this man is not making a point, assuming. He's asking a hypothetical question. He did not say, I did this. He did not say, I do that. However, there is the case of DPP versus Shaw, where somebody got the directory and painted it and say, okay, if you want to call girls, you can call this number. He has the number of the girl, you can just... So he was sued. And they said, no, his action can corrupt public morale. In this kind of situation, the action of the man, in respect of the minors, can corrupt public morale, and I think he can ask a question to answer. But the 1 million question, sir, is who are the victims?
Exactly.
Without a victim, it becomes business.
So, Kabir, it's not criminal then, is it?
It is not criminal if there is no victim.
So where does it fall under?
Even if you sue him now, that who is the complainant? If you say somebody has stolen my phone, who has stolen a phone, allegedly, if you say, oh, he stole a phone, he's not the owner. And he could say, oh, I'm not the owner. But if you don't bring somebody who owns that phone, because something could be stolen, it must be owned. Mm-hmm. So who owns it? So who are those people this man have been mentioning? If anybody can come out now and say, and again, there's another problem. Mm-hmm. Under our law, defilement of idiots or minors, if you don't sue within 6 months, it's started by.
So if these texts are
10 years ago, there's nothing,
that
can happen.
So thanks for clearing that up. So I understand this from an, I'm sorry, Queen.
No,
I'm firing up too many questions.
I know she's...
You know, I told you that this topic
very
is
sensitive for you. So
remove emotions. Let us be free.
So I lost my train of thought there, but I will regain it. I'll jump back on that train. Mm-hmm. Now, so we're saying that there is no victim here. So, but now, good. I understand it from an institutional point of view when it comes to Paystack suspending its co-founder. Then let's talk about the laws of the land, where bestiality is
an offense.
Is an offense.
Under our law.
There will not be an animal that will come and say.
Exactly. And there will not be evidence of the picture where he did it.
No evidence of picture.
Even if there is picture, do you know you can argue that, oh, there is cropping of his head on those things. So these are the technical areas. It's going to be very complex.
But you did speak of corruption of minors.
Yeah.
The law of the
yes,
land. So
that is the area. That's the area I am concerned with.
So that's the most significant.
Yeah, however, when was that? But again, it's arguable again that, okay, those posts remain. Mm-hmm. Did it last year? Anybody reading it today is becoming aware today. So it's also an argument.
And
that,
you also mentioned...
I'm just seeing it today.
Yeah.
Are you with me, sir? Mm-hmm. It's a situation, he raped or harassed the girl 10 years ago, okay. But a post that was is still online. We're talking about the post now, not the real act. That will constitute that offense of corruption of public morale.
So admittance would mean definitely you are corrupt, you need to be punished. However, what if he recants?
That's what exactly what we are saying, that if he denies all these things, that's the end of it. It ends there because, except and of course, when somebody now comes, I am a victim, you did this to me, that will dispel his denial. But when nobody is coming, it's your word against his, it's our word against his, it's the word of Paystack against his. And again, sir, Paystack, do they even have if we want to talk about it legally, does that amount to him being removed from the management of the company? Do you understand? Under the law, he is a owner. The fact that somebody is a criminal does not say, oh, you may not make him if the court has convicted him, he may not be a director again. Do you understand? But he can be a shareholder. Do you get? So the fact that he has done all those things, does it mean you remove him from the company? Don't forget, under our law, the first one I think is in 1900 or 18 something, Solomon versus Solomon, where a man in Britain, he was a cobbler. Later, the business was booming, and he decided to register the company, Solomon Company, you understand, and was making shoes. He gave shares to his wife, gave to his children and all that. At a point, issues came, and he said, okay, I want to be paid. They said, no, you are Solomon, now you are the owner of the company. The English court said, no, he is different from his company, though he found it. Do you get it? So now, if he co-founded that agency, can you just send him away? There are protocols before you can say somebody is no longer competent to be a shareholder or a director in that company. You can punish him for what he has done, but that will not strip him of his right to be a co-founder in that organization. You can only talk of morality. That is the only thing. But legally, you cannot remove him.
Interesting, Queen.
You understand? Because he's not an employee. If he's an employee, the employer he can hire and fire anytime, go away because of your conduct. But now he's the owner. He's one of the owner, and he has shares here. The company has come to stay. What are you going to do? He has not embezzled the company's money. He has not treated the company in a kind of way or run the company in a
So you're saying Paystack didn't respond positively? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that what Paystack has done to do this is to save its image.
Save its image.
But can they sustain it? How long can they sustain it? Or what effect can it have? On the eventual result? So
what would be a better line of action for such institutions?
No, the best line of action is what they have done.
Okay.
They can keep him away they can keep him at bay for a very long time. Do you understand? They can even make, being what Nigeria is, They can make us a make-up story that, oh, it's no longer the management and all that, and he will still be managing behind the scene. This is the thing. But they cannot just say, because you have done this, you are no more a co-founder, or we are not going to give you your share. His profit comes every day, it will still continue to come. These are the questions.
Queen, you had a question.
Queen is not feeling comfortable. So this man is going to escape. It will be difficult. Yeah, it will be difficult to get him liable.
You talked about, literally, I think you've just talked about every corner of this situation.
Every question you had in your head.
Every question I had in my head, all the curiosity as to why is that tweet coming out now?
Yeah.
This is 2025, let's be honest. So the
Very
thing is, if we scroll down on his Twitter page or X page or whatever, are we still going to see those tweets there? How did they bring it out?
Pull it down.
The person who brought
I have read it that they have been pulled down.
It's been pulled down. When was it pulled down? How did they find it? Was his phone hacked? I know that there's a law where if we're having conversations, I cannot record it.
Yeah.
So is there a law where I cannot just come and find what you've done how many years ago and bring it, because then you cannot persecute someone after 6 months, and this has happened how many years ago? So all these things are just coming through my mind, and again, nobody has come out to say I was the one that this happened to.
Exactly.
So
and
it changes everything now,
and let me tell you, these are just write-ups. There is no obscene pictures. There is no names mentioned. They were what they call inferences. You understand? Inferential conclusions can be drawn.
At the end of the day, if we go by that he must be punished, then that means for everything we think,
there will be issues. That is the problem. So law is very empirical, because law will not do something that will create problems for the society. That is why the law court will not allow juju. The judge is a Yoruba man, he's an African, he's an Hausa, he knows what it is, that there is juju, there is magic, there is this, there is that. But he will not believe, because if that is believed, the court will be flooded. Somebody can just say, I dreamt overnight and I saw so person did this, bewitched me. So even in the money position of the law, a lot of people were prosecuted and convicted and jailed and sentenced to death for killing people. Say, oh, this person is a witch, they stoned them to death. I knew one that happened in Ilorin sometime in around 1994. I know one that happened in Ekiti sometime about 10-15 years ago. That, oh, this man is a witch, they stoned her to death. At the end of the day, they will arrest all the people they can identify there, prosecute them, because it's not known to law. So if we are not talking about, and again, even in court of law, they say court does not deal with academic or hypothetical question. What of all he was saying, what of if somebody asked this? What if somebody did this? He did not say yesterday, I did this. He did not say yes. Even when we talk about the minor that we're talking about, he was asking questions. He is not going to say, oh, I am going to do this. It's a very tricky thing. But it's not tricky. And if you see again, those words are very well coded. It's very, very well coded. Because a judge or a good lawyer will be able to argue to say, oh, come, you can argue your own like this. I may argue my own like this. Do you understand? And some of the things that we call names, technical terms, they are not the English words. Do you understand? I knew I've redone a case before where somebody pleaded. In his pleading, he said the boy has SS. That is why they gave my client, there's a 5-year-old boy, I wasn't my degree then, gave him injection, immediately the leg became paralyzed. And at the end of the day, when we sued the hospital, in their defense, they said the boy is SS. That's why the injection reacted on his body. Unfortunately, in medicine, there's nothing like SS. It's sickle cell anemia. So my argument was that, well, what they are pleading does not exist as a disease. So nobody, what is SS? Nothing. So those are the areas when something that is coded, you interpret, is subject to interpretation, and the law is this, a court of law. We allow 10, they say it is better. In the admission of justice, it is better for 10 accused persons to escape justice than for one innocent person to be suffered unjustly. Now, as a judge, all you need to do as a lawyer, while we win cases at times, just create a doubt in the mind of the judge. Like in a rape case, somebody left your house, and until 3 days, they didn't come and arrest you that you raped her. The possibility of a lawyer arguing that, oh, within that time, it's also possible that you could sleep with another man. You understand? He says yes. You have already doubt. Who knows? Did you do it within those 3 days? So these are just create a doubt in the mind of the court. Once the court cannot resolve that doubt, the accused person is going to be freed.
Mr. Kabir,
freed.
It's unfortunate that we're having you at the end of the show, because I think this conversation is very broad
deep.
and deep, and it opens new doors to
Yeah.
the perspectives that we could actually view the instance that has just happened between Mr. Ezra Olubi and Paystack, and all of Twitterdom, in social media jury. But thank you very much for shedding another light.
Yeah. And come to think of it, just like somebody who hold a magic and say, I command you to fall down, and the person falls down and dies. We know that in Yoruba land there is, but there's no causation. It didn't touch you. So those are the things. It will be difficult to hold him responsible.
Mr. Kabir, thank you very much for coming on Breakfast Extra once again. It's always a pleasure to have you, especially when you agree to our invitations. We're always excited. Just before the interview and even after.
Thank you.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.